Okay, what I want to show you is how I'm doing the color with the eyes, but then also why I'm doing a second coat of white. You can see here, I've got a second coat of white on this piece and it's just dry. And let's hold it up next to this one. And you can see the difference. The blue, there's a definite difference. So for these, I usually position them between fingers and then just come in here and kind of flood the area, I guess you would say. I would say that if I were painting it with a traditional brush and more liquid paint. So you can see when I draw that little kind of a moat around it, again, I'm thinking about capillary action. The tension will keep the paint contained. So this one now can sit and dry. And then I wanted to pay attention to this one right here. You can see I kind of goofed up a little bit. She's gotten her second coat of white. And I'm going to use a green on this one. And make sure the paint's flowing. And like I said, I almost always put the nice thing about these acrylic pens is I can really get in there and cover up stuff that I don't want to see. So you can see I've still got some stuff that's a little goofed up. It'll get fixed. And remember, the black lines go over the top and they hide all those crummy little bits along the outside. And then I was debating over which one to use. I think I used this one last time. Yeah, I used this one last time. Come on. Sometimes with these paint pens, the nib will start to get old, and I've found a supply online where I can get replacement nibs. I might want to just go ahead and replace this one. And the only thing that I notice with the new nibs is they are a little wiggly. And when I say a little wiggly, I mean just a little, like when you're using the pen. I like to use something where I can pull it out and then set it down. And then you just take the new tip and it's going to kind of lock into place. And then turn it around and do the same kind of pump action. You can see it begin to come down. And the reason I do this is because I want a bit of a finer tip on that. So I'm just going to come in and add a tiny bit of a shadow here. And then I will leave that to dry. I can also come in with a slightly darker shade of green and add a bit of a shadow here on the top. And I know that's like almost barely perceptible, but it does add a little bit more dimension to the piece once I put all the final lines on, the final black lines on it, and then the gloss. It does add a little bit of a pop. So that's what I'm going to be doing for all of these today. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's video. There's a lot more for me to do. So thank you, patrons. I will see you in the next video. Woo, woo. Okay, now you can see here, got everybody sitting on a board, looks like. I've actually masking taped these down. I've made teeny tiny little butterflies of tape, and you can kind of see them right there. Part of the reason I did that is because if I put them on a board like this, I can pick them up and move them a lot easier. Plus, they'll remain sitting flat. So you can see I've added in some shadows, some highlights, some lowlights, etc. And I do have one last eye, because sometimes when I'm making these, I goof them up. And you can see here, I made the line on the bottom way too big, way too thick. So what I need to do, please pardon, I'm having a case of dysrhidosis, oh, the Johnson crud. All my skin's coming off my hands and feet. Yeah, that's gross. Anywho, I need to go back in and kind of get rid of this super thick line. And I can do it a couple of different ways. And I want to show you how I do it with the pens. So I pulled out the colors that I used, and I'm going to take this down. There. Okay, so here we are. I need to, I'm first going to go in and go over the green, the light green a bit. Make sure, because this line here is just too thick. And I'm going to take it down. And the thing is, when I'm doing these, redoing these, if I have to fix something, I go so much slower. I might be able to redo this without having to mess with the pupil or the highlights. Okay, so you can see how that's partially fixed now, but we can still see that white over there. So now I'm going to come in and again put this right here, and I'm not going to go incredibly close for right now, and just so there's no bump, I'm going to kind of flood it in as another coat. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. I don't want to mess anything up. So, there. Okay. That already looks a million times better. I'm going to take that out of there too. And I think a tiny bit of white right there. And then what I can do with the black, and you can see you can see where I wonder if I can get it to highlight it. There's still a bit of a glint. It's still kind of wet. But if I'm really careful and I go really slow, I should be able to get around it. Oh, caught a little bit of that on the down and around. Okay, let's see if we can get this one. I actually do a lot of reshaping of the circular elements within the eye. Now, that looks a lot better, but I need to add the shadow. And I know it doesn't seem like the shadow, there's a little something on there. It doesn't seem like the shadow adds a whole lot, but it really does. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to move this around a little bit so I can see where I'm going. There. I need to bring that in, and I'll need to go over it with the black. Okay, so now the white is almost completely dry. And I'm going to come back in with the black and just hit it right there. Turn it sideways. Sorry about that car horn. That's kind of rude. Okay, there's that one. And there's, oh, let's see, I'm going to do a little bit more up here. There. Okay, there we go. Now I can let it dry, and then what I'm planning on doing, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to seal all of these in, which means I'm just going to take a brush, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and use Mod Podge on it, because it doesn't matter to me if it's a little shiny on the outside edge, because the inside portion is where I want everything to be kind of glossy, and that's what I'll be adding this stuff, the Dimensional Magic. I'm gonna have to fix the bottle a little bit. So yeah, I'll see you in the next part of this video, which is going to be putting that dimensional stuff in. Okay, I got to kind of make this one a little brief. You can see these yellow ones and this blue, this one over here, I've already done. And I wanted to show you how I add in the dimensional magic. Sometimes, and you can see here, there are a couple of, if you look really close, there are a couple of bubbles. Sometimes they're kind of hard to get out. There, I got that one. Sometimes I can get them out if I'm really careful. Okay, let's see, let's do this next one right here. And basically I'm just letting kind of like gravity pull it out, and then I'm just flooding the entire piece. Now you can see a really big bubble there, and the fact that this didn't go up quite high enough. Sometimes you can pop them, and then other times you're just like, come on. I try to steer them into a less, I guess, visible place. Sometimes I can get them with, if they're big enough. Yeah, I got that one with a needle. That one was big enough I could get with a needle. But yeah, like I try really hard. Like look at the size of that bubble. Okay, let's see if I can get that one there. I just go really slow and just kind of work it in. Again, working with capillary action. And there's another bubble right there. Sometimes the bubbles will pop on their own, and then other times they just refuse. So that is how I put the dimensional stuff on the eyes. Let me see if I can pop that one. Come on, pop. Here's one here that's in the blue. This one right here just looks like dog pile. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I don't know if I'll be able to actually get this one, because sometimes when after it sets for a little bit, you just can't get it out. And I've also discovered that doing a second coat does not help this. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with these and then set them aside to dry on their little board. So that's the end of the eyeball extravaganza. It is now complete. Thank you, patrons, and I'll see you in the next video.